All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Today's Thursday, right? Always good to ask. You never know. Happy Thursday, everyone. Wave meteorologist Brian Goode. Hope you all are doing well today. My hair's getting a little out of control. Sorry about that. Sometimes when you're staying here working on things, and you see your image pop up. It's like, oh man, I'll get a cut. I hope you are well. Hello, Angela. Hello to. Is that your name? SBC Paducah at an EF3. You did in Mount Vernon, Indiana. We saw the report come down yesterday on that and seen the video too. Pretty wild stuff. And glad we didn't have anything to that level here, but wait, it was close. It was close there for a while. Watching just about everything was spinning the other day. So that was a huge challenge in itself. Okay, so welcome to the blog. This is where we have a chance to just talk about sometimes it's a specific topic, especially if there's something big coming our way. And in some cases, we have a chance to just take a breather and talk about other issues that are going on. And in this case today, I will be going over some of the long range data that will get us into winter. As you guys know, we're heading into a La Nina pattern, already are. And that is going to at least be a factor, not probably the main one, but at least a factor in how things will go. More on that in just a second. As always, you can comment on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. You have that ability to do that. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring that to everyone that's watching, even on the app and on our streaming devices, but not there yet. Hopefully, we will be soon. Okay, saw the button lighten up. Let's making sure everything's good. All right. Do you hear the other music, or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. Okay, never mind. I promise I'm okay. I'm having one of my my moments here today, I think. Sorry. I'm hearing these weird sounds in my ear. I just want to make sure that I'm hearing the right thing. Okay, 76 in Louisville right now, 74 at Fort Knox, 81 into Marion County. I'm good. Don't worry, Joel. I'll be all right. Dew points have been on the increase. This is how we measure the moisture in the air. It's starting to go back up. Now, these values themselves will actually lower in the afternoon. The atmosphere naturally has a higher dew point early in the day, lowers in the afternoon about 3 or 4 o'clock, and then rises again at night. So it will stay like this unless you have some type of weather system coming in to bring that moisture in and offset the natural flipping, if you will, of the change. Then that would change things up. But today would be a natural one where the air will try to dry back out again later. And it is getting quite warm above our heads. So that should hopefully mean that we will have a reduction, not only the impacts on anything on the heat index today, which will not be overly high. And hopefully we can cut back on some of the gustier thunderstorms, though. Still, some areas could use some rain. The drought index came out today. I'll show you that in just a second. Here's a count of the tornadoes as we stand. And this was as of yesterday. Most of this has been confirmed and the reports are filed. Some are still being evaluated. I counted them based on whatever the Storm Prediction Center says right now where we stand on the count. And I keep going back about every month and I check it to make sure that everything's lining up. And for the states and the plains, really not a whole lot has changed. Most of the severe weather has been in other areas of the country, especially down to the south. But we've got right now what looks to be Texas coming in at 131. And I'm sure that number may be adjusted. A lot of that was, of course, a barrel that came on shore. It saw the same jump in Louisiana up to 46. In Kentucky, we jumped up to 54. We'll see if that settles down. If these sometimes there's duplicates, we'll see if that settles back down, but still a significant number. And earlier, of course, in the spring, you guys remember Iowa and Nebraska, Missouri. That's where a majority of those high counts come from. So looking at this, let's see, Vermont and Maine and Idaho and Nevada looks to be the places to go if you want to avoid a zero count or try to get into a zero count for tornadoes. That's what you need to go to. The heat, of course, is the big story out there anyway, so it's going to be hard to get much action hot and dry out west. But anyways, wanted to show you guys that that's been the setup so far this year. We're only a little more than halfway through, and we'll see how these numbers stack up when we end out for the year. It's going to be, we have another severe weather season in the fall, remember. Okay, so what about Beryl? Still on the map, still just a low pressure, nothing tropical about it. Now moving not too far away from Nova Scotia, the eastern side of it now heading toward the Halifax area, in fact, at the moment. So still producing some rain, some thunderstorms, maybe one or two strong storms in Halifax today, but I'm hoping the trail threat can get cut down. Notice the tail end, by the way, back around Cape Hatteras. You can tell that there is another tropical feature in the Carolina area, and the Carolinas off the coast, because the front itself, the tail from Beryl, is not going offshore like it's trying to do in New York and Boston. It actually lingers there in the Outer Banks and kind of goes backwards because there is another low pressure trying to form near the Gulf Stream. Now, it is still only at a 10% chance of development, so no one's really worried about that right now, and there's not much modeling to show it would get more active. But it would make things messy for the beaches. So if you're still traveling to head to the Carolinas, be ready for that. There will certainly be some active weather, showers and storms right on the coast there. Okay, so the track of Beryl was wow, though, right? I mean, started off before we got even to the Windward Islands, went to Carico, made landfall there, then went to just south of Jamaica, made landfall in the Yucatan, and then, of course, in Houston were the three landfalls for Beryl. Looking at the modeling in hindsight, I was trying to pay attention. There's so many weather models out there. Well, the one that stood out to me, to be honest with you all, was the ICON model, the German model. It had the idea of it staying basically a tropical storm or hurricane, barely clipping the Yucatan and making the turn into Texas and then right into wave country for a path. It did that for at least 3 to 4 days in a row before I left last week. It was consistent on that idea. The others, including the Euro actually performed the worst on trying to push it more west into Texas. GFS was kind of bouncing around all over the place, wasn't sure what to do. But the ICON did very well. So we don't talk about the ICON model very much, but maybe it got itself on the board with this one. We'll see what happens down the road. For a while, though, it looks like we're going to have some quiet time. Other than that tropical wave off the Carolina coast, a lot of dust coming off the coast of Africa is really just keeping things relatively quiet, especially for anything far out. Now, there is still some wiggle room there in the Gulf and into the Gulf Stream in the Carolinas where some homegrown activity could develop. But as far as anything far out developing and crossing the intertropical convergence zones, we call that, coming in from the east, it's going to be a bit of time. So that's good. A little bit of a break. That was a big one to get our feet wet on, right? With Beryl, we don't want to worry about that any longer. All right, enough of that. Let's get into our home weather. Beautiful outside. Hardly a cloud at the moment. We will get some cumulus clouds, though, later on today. The drought index did come out today, and it's pretty rough in the Carolinas, so they need the rainfall. So I'm hoping that tropical low can, scoot on over, help them out a little bit. That would be nice. Locally, we are in still a moderate drought, Scottsburg, north and east, and a low-end drought status, abnormally dry, technically is what they call that, but for all intents and purposes, it's low-end drought. For parts of Kentucky. Now, again, this was sampled on Tuesday, so even some of the rain that we've had the past couple of days, including the storms that we had on Tuesday, were not a factor in this update. So we'll have to wait another week and see if it improves or not, because we're about to enter a fairly lengthy period of dry, hot days, but maybe some more heavier rain for parts of next week. So hopefully we can keep this storyline out for the summer. This is the worst storyline for summers, I think, in my opinion, anyway, is droughts. I think they're still damaging. They cost us a lot of money in the end result at the grocery store, of course. It's hard on our farmers and our livelihood. So drought is the worst thing that you can really deal with in the summer season. But around here, sometimes we don't get into a core of a drought until about harvest time. You get into August and September, and that's when it becomes a problem. But we'll be watching it. But right now, nothing worrisome that I'm seeing there. Okay, so today the moisture is still in the air. You'll feel it as you're walking around today. You'll still be sweating. All right, so it's not exactly a low humidity setup, but it just enough to allow for perhaps a couple of showers and storms to try to form today. There is a weak little ripple, if you will, that is diving down across areas of Illinois. It's kind of just scooting slowly, and it will all the way into Indiana. Got a bit of a tail to it as well. Almost got MCS type setup, but it's lacking a lot of strong wind support above its head that would be, racing into the Ohio Valley, which would be a problem for us, so leading to a much more of a thunderstorm setup. That is missing. It's relatively weak flow and a very weak system. Plenty of moisture around, but there's just not much of a trigger. And there is above our head a decent amount of warm air that is up there. That too puts a lid on widespread showers and storms. Now, having said that, I do think that there is enough of a trigger of these showers and storms moving through. Even if they are small and developing, they can produce a quick downpour that will be very slow moving, could produce some gusty winds and very heavy rainfall, and it's over. But those are going to be very isolated. And I've had to pinpoint areas right now, and I'll show you on the modeling. This looks to be the general spot today to basically watch for showers and a few thunderstorms that may try to form. And then tomorrow, I think it's going to look a little more like this, maybe a little more south. We'll see. But in general, it'll be in our region that one or two downpours will pop. I think we got like 20% rain chances in for it. Just want you guys to be aware. Just have a way to get notified for lightning and heavy rain if you're out and about. But most of you will stay dry. All right. So what's next? Well, let's start with the setup for the next couple of days with that feature. Again, the red area and the gold is the fuel to fire them up. You see it's more prevalent in Illinois and into Missouri than it is here. We're right on the edge of that. So you see why I drew the area of Indiana, back Illinois, and Missouri as your focal point for some of those showers and storms for today that we'll try to fire up. They will fade. Some of these can redevelop in the overnight hours. It's possible, but most of them will fade out with the loss of heating of the day. We get into your Friday, same ordeal, just a little bit closer to us. A few clusters of showers and storms, again, not moving very much. So I just don't want you guys to be caught off guard thinking it's completely dry the next couple of days, as I would not say that. And I think that you need to be aware there will be a couple of thunderstorms out there. But most of you, again, will be dry. All right, we get into really Saturday. The only thing Saturday we got to watch is there will be a better wind belt in the Midwest that would be approaching the Ohio Valley from the northwest that could allow for a couple of MCSs that will dive down at some point Saturday, maybe even Saturday night. But I'm not seeing a lot of support. They would get all the way here right now. We'll watch it. We got a low rain chance in for Saturday to account for it. Sunday, the heat continues to be the building story there, and that will be the case on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. And I think we're going to be talking about getting close to heat advisories again, about 405. I just got back from Charleston, South Carolina. The heat index was 107, 109. I think the whole time I was there. And but at least I had an ocean to jump into, which was nice. But still, it was just hot, so and miserable, right? So we'll have those kind of hot, humid days coming back early next week, mid 90s. There you go. Prepare for it. What will change all that? Well, it's what you see here as a front that'll be diving in at an angle. What is really weird about this one, I shouldn't say weird, it's just it's got a catch to it, I guess, is that their boundary itself will be angled in a northwest to southeast fashion. And you're going to have different little pieces right along that at times, moving from the Midwest, Great Lakes into the Mid-Atlantic. And each time one of those ripples comes on by, you're going to get a firing up of showers and some thunderstorms, some heavy, some strong, some severe. South of that, just your typical pop-up thunderstorms, hot and humid, and more refreshing air to the north of that. But we likely will be in the storm zone. But how fast will this have to be dealt with? How fast can we get this through here? Because there is a strong high pressure behind the banner. I can't really draw it, but it's up here. Just imagine it behind the banner. That high is going to do its best to try to push down the boundary and get it south of Kentucky, maybe to Tennessee. That may be a stretch, but we'll try it. Get it down to Tennessee. That may give us the end of next week with a couple of days of lower humidity and dry weather and beautiful blue sky. However, if the high does not end up being as strong as what the modeling indicates, because that's what we're at the mercy of right now, and the pattern gets stuck where the boundary does not move very much, then we may end up with showers and storms that could extend all the way into the weekend of next week as well. So that is the key point, is that boundary and how fast does it move in. And it may take a while to drop down, but once it does, again, showers and storms will be our thing. And then hopefully we can push it to the south, but we may have to sacrifice 2 to 3 days next week to get us through that point. Severe weather possible, but I think flooding is going to be an issue with that kind of a setup in east-west orientation. that kind of worries me on that idea there. And then we may try to repeat the pattern again. I really don't see a lot changing for the next couple of weeks, kind of the rinse and repeat type of idea. Here's the outlook from Colorado State on these severe maps. You guys love looking at these, right? Let me show you. Basically, look at the yellow. The yellow is that storm zone I was referring to, the boundary. And you could see that it's north of us, even on Sunday. We get into Monday. Ooh, it's right up on us. We're right on the edge on the Ohio River. Same story for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it's through here. But the reason why we're not painted in yellow on that slight idea is that one of the pockets of energy at that point will likely be in the mid-Atlantic on Wednesday, keeping them a little more fired up for any severe potential. But I'm showing you this, not so much talk about, are we going to get severe or not? It's more so of a thunderstorm zone and active weather. You can see how that just kind of starts to our north over the weekend and then just sinks south into next week. There you go. Everyone good on the stormy, hot weather? If so, type 9.4. 9.4 if you're good. Shonda, are you going to do the weather from the theaters? Yes. Ryan will be now. Obviously, I know one of the storm days I just pointed out is Wednesday. So rain or shine, we're going to be there. The names should be going out already. I think the names have been drawn and who won the contest. So check your email soon. I'm not sure if they've been sent officially, but it's soon. So you should have them soon, and hopefully we'll see you there. I will be at Blankenbaker, and Carson, I think, is with me, and then Tawana and Ryan will be into Jeffersonville. Kevin will unfortunately not be there that day. He wishes he could be, but he's not likely going to be there. But the rest of us will be there and in his spirit and try to keep everything going and have some fun with it. And I'm hoping to see some of you that I see in this chat all the time. Now, you may have to remind me of your name 20 times because I lose brain cells every day. I'm getting older, so you're going to have to remind me. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of you out there. And there will be another theater, by the way, that's adjacent to the one that Wave is hosting, that if you wanted to purchase tickets, they will have another showing available. Okay, so you still want to hang out with us, but you can't be in the theater with us. There you go. There's an option there. Cool. Everyone looks good. A lot of 9. Oh, I bet. Okay, 9.4. All right, good. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into just a couple of maps here because I got to run, but a couple of maps in the longer term. You guys know, if you don't, you do now. We're out of El Nino. We're heading to La Nina, which is a cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. That's been happening the past month and a half, and now we're entering it. And I was just trying to glance. I'm not ready to do any winter discussion yet or winter forecast. You guys know what day that comes out. If you do, type it in chat. I'm pretty sure you guys do know. Not quite there on that one. I'm still analyzing leftovers from last year, and there's a lot to look at for this year. But I'm also going to do the winter forecast different this year, and that's your tease for now on that idea. Okay, so this is the long range Euro for, say, the last of July. We'll start there. And it does paint cooler than normal temperatures into the Ohio Valley. I circled where Louisville will be on this map. And this is your precipitation on the bottom. And it's got wetter than normal just south of us in the Gulf Coast area, and then cooler than normal. Well, it's going to be late July. You guys kind of know where that is hinting toward, and that will be an increase in showers and thunderstorms is the reason why. So it's not exactly sunny and chilly weather coming our way later in July. It just means we may have some tropics getting involved there, and that's what the model is trying to do. All right, so wanted to share that nugget. And then this is a very colorful one. This is from Japan. This is a Japanese model. Now, this updates once a month, and it does okay. It does okay. All right, sometimes it misses, sometimes it hits, but I think it's just another fun one to watch. That's what we're doing. We're just having fun, right, guys? We're not triggering the Twitterverse here, right? Okay, good. The top box is temperature. And yes, we're on the edge of the above normal temperatures in our area, cooler into the northwest. But I will say, when I just looked at this for the June update, it was absolutely blowtorching, a lot of warmth for all of North America. So that is gone now. So the numbers have dropped for the winter for the Great Lakes and Northern Plains. What trend would that be? There's obviously La Nina. You see the cooling there in that blue stripe. And looking at precipitation, which is the bottom one, it's showing kind of equal, not really overly wet, not overly dry, kind of in between, kind of balanced out there. So nothing really too shocking, I know, but I will keep an eye and see if they start to lock in on maybe a bit of a change. I will say there's a bit more Arctic sea ice than I expected to be up there in the Arctic at this point. Last year we had less, and I thought for sure this year was going to be like a new record, but that has not been the case. So that plays a role. I watch the sun activity plays a role. There's a lot of factors, guys. Is what takes so long to get it all out, and then the pressure's all on just for one night. You're right, just for one night on Halloween, the pressure's on, and I hope that we have better luck than we did last year. Last year was not great, and I'll admit that wasn't great. But hey, every winter it actually is different. So fingers crossed. All right, let me show you this 10-day real quick, and I'll get out of here before I get everyone all angry at me, especially those that don't like snow. All right, here's your outlook again. Lower 90s next couple of days, low rain chances. There's the heat. We'll see if we can get to 97. 96 has been the hottest this year. With a few days of dry weather, that may be possible to get there, but certainly the heat index is what we need to watch. It's going to get up there again, close to 104, 105. And then we'll watch that front sagging south Wednesday and Thursday to see whether or not it will give us some beneficial rain without the drama of severe weather. All right, there you go, guys. I appreciate it. Adam says you can talk about snow all you want in July. All right, well, I'll do that. That's about the only time I don't get hate mail, but I'm going to be talking about it a lot in October, and I'm sure it will be coming up in January as well. All right, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you coming up on midday.